Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, happy Good Friday to everybody out there. I hope you have an amazing long weekend. We have a couple stories about Norwegian cruise lines today, canceling up to 7 ships' itineraries because they're making all kinds of changes. We have confirmed where Royal Caribbean is now sending their ships instead of going into Baltimore, at least temporarily. We have the Florida governor, starting to allow larger ships back into Florida by doing something new. And then finally, some good news if you're a Disney fan. We have the cruise ship finally set float into the water for the first time. So Norwegian Cruise Line is canceling cruises for people left and right and sending them out information and letters saying that their cruise is canceled. It's up to 7 ships, all in 2025. They include the Epic, the Jade, the Pearl, the Spirit, the Star, the Sky, and even the Norwegian Viva. They're one of their newest ships. So what's happening? Well, they are citing things like the continuing unrest in the Red Sea and a larger than anticipated demand for places like Panama Canal and the Bahamas. They also have a new scheduled dry dock they have to contend with. And of course, the ever popular full charter vessels that when people just say, oh, we'll pay for the whole ship, they're more than happy to do that and cancel the other cruises because they have guaranteed money coming in from those events. So that's what's going on. Now, if you're one of the people who are going to be affected by some of these itinerary changes, they haven't even told us yet. They're saying in about 2 weeks, we should have the information of what all the changes are going to be on these ships. They are just saying that they're making changes on these ships and we will find out in 2 weeks. And in the meantime, they're sending out all these letters to people saying that their cruise is canceled. So if you're one of those people, get ready for a letter. Now they are offering a 10% rebate on your next Norwegian cruise as well if you're one of those people affected. So it's not all bad news, it's just a very big inconvenience, especially if you had a particular reason for going there, or if you're lining up back-to-back cruises or hotel destinations and bus tours. That's when these become a very big problem. Norwegian has also announced for those people who are on the transatlantic in just 1 week on the Norwegian Viva, well, some of the venues that you're expecting to be on board will be closed for changes. Remember, they're changing over a lot of the areas like the arcade area and places like that and adding different things on these ships. Well, they're going to continue this work during that cruise, and the letter went out to passengers saying, as part of our commitment to continuously offer extraordinary vacation experiences for our guests and around the world, and to uphold consistent world-class product across our fleet, Norwegian Viva will be undergoing some enhancements during your cruise. Some enhancements. So some of those enhancements will include closing off some areas while they're working. One of the areas is the Viva Speedway Bar, which is going to be converted into a youngsters area for ages 13 to 17. That is, offered on many other cruise lines. So they're working on that space for this ship. Also, areas are going to be part of the Galaxy Pavilion, the arcade area. The virtual reality game space is going to be closed. The Tea Time mini golf course will be closed. The Bullseye, a digital darts area. The Stadium gaming space, which is basically their sports court area, quite a large space on board. And of course, the Wave, which is a popular water slide on board. All of these things will be closed during the sailing now, and passengers are told lots of notice, a whole week in advance, but they do say to people, rest assured, there will still be plenty of activities available to entertain you during your days at sea, including the Speedway, the Drop, the Rush, the Aqua Park, and so much more. Just the other places will be closed, and a whole week. And no notice if they're giving any compensation to passengers for this inconvenience. Royal Caribbean has now confirmed that it too will now start sailing out of Norfolk, Virginia, while the area is being worked on and Baltimore cruise port remains closed. So we have confirmation that both Carnival and Royal Caribbean will be heading to Norfolk, Virginia. So if you have an upcoming cruise on any of those cruises leaving Baltimore or arriving in Baltimore, you can expect now that probably Norfolk will be your destination to fly into and travel to for your next cruise. And Florida Governor Ron DeSantis continues to say, hey, you folks in Key West trying to limit those cruise ships, well, you can limit the private one, but you can't limit the main one that's owned by the state. And they have just given permission to expand that cruise terminal by 50 feet because people were citing the ships coming in were too large for that area, and it goes against what they're allowed to bring in, so they were receiving fines, and the pier was receiving fines. Well, now they're saying, well, we're going to expand that area completely, and then the larger cruise ships will be allowed to come in. So by maybe going after the ships that are slightly too large to get in there, they may have opened the doors for cruise ships like the Icon of the Seas and those type of ships to start pulling into Key West if they wish to. It seems to be the battle is always ongoing in Key West. It doesn't seem to end, but they are citing that once again, local authorities cannot interfere with state commerce, which cruise ships absolutely are. They help bring in, with the tourism and the cruise ships in Key West, bring over $2.4 billion a year into that economy. And that spreads throughout the state and country as well. So there you go, folks. The war continues in Key West. And finally, we have some good news if you're a Disney fan. But before I get there, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If you want to keep up to date with everything going on in cruising, from the cruise ship cancellations to the changes in ports to the new ships coming online and reviews of all those ships coming, we'll try and keep it as lighthearted as we can and keep you entertained while keeping you up to date with the news, something that you might need, some information for your next upcoming cruise, and especially maybe even save you some money or some frustration in the meantime. I hope you'll join us. It doesn't cost anything, but boy, it really does help the channel when you hit that subscribe button and the like button. And again, I really do appreciate it. Okay. Good news if you're a Disney fan and you're anticipating the next Disney Treasure cruise ship. Well, she finally floated into the water. And that's a big step for these cruise ships. It's actually being moved from its current building area to another area to make way for the next Disney Destiny, the ship that they just announced that they want to bring out in 2025. They're going to start building her there, while in the meantime, they're getting the Disney Treasure ready for December this year for her inaugural sailing. I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation, and happy Easter, everybody.